Hi guys. Can
Oh,
you
here we
see
go.
me?
Yep.
There she is.
Hey, sorry, my Zoom wasn't working on my normal desktop, so I get to be in bed from my laptop. Okay. Sorry about that. I've been running around my house trying to get on here. Give me just 1 second to get oriented. All right. Got a good group of you on. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Let me just do this. Okay. Hi.
Hi.
How is everybody? I just got back from a weekend, from a 4-day retreat where we were studying love and relationships. I sent you guys an email about it and nobody wanted to come, or maybe nobody saw it, but if you have any love or relationship issues, whether you're single or you're in a relationship, I go once a quarter to this event in Austin called the Love Immersion. And I get a $500 off the ticket price if anybody wants to go. I usually do some tapping when I'm there. Mm. But it is the best love and relationship coaches on the planet that come and basically donate their time for this event, because they're not paid. But I have made the most radical breakthroughs in my love life from, let's see, my first event was in November to now. And every event, it's not just learning and coaching. See, everybody has a hot seat with the coaches for like 30 or 45 minutes, which is, a really in-depth process, but you get to watch everybody else's process too. And so you learn a lot just from watching other people because, you'll pick up things along the way. Um, and then at the end, so you normally everybody has a big breakthrough for themselves. And then on the very last day, we have a medicine ceremony. And the medicine ceremony I just learned is to lock in the changes that have been made. So essentially, what psilocybin does is it opens up the neural pathways and um, basically uh, it gives your brain more choice around whatever it is you're working on. And so it's kind of similar to tapping in a way where you can make these changes and then they solidify. And I have to say, after going to 3 of these now, well, the last 2, the changes that I made during the workshop, normally if I don't do tapping around a topic, the changes that I make, even just like realizations that I make, they don't stick. But because we add the medicine ceremony on the last night, it allows the new learnings to solidify in the brain. So anyway, super, super cool. I'll let you guys know about the next one. I think the next one's in September. But if anybody wants to come, it's a great, whether you're single or in a relationship, it's really powerful. Okay, so I see some people with their hands up. I'll just go in a row. Would love to hear your wins and also hear whatever it is that you'd like some help with. If you want a prescription or if you want a challenge, let me know. Or if one's coming to me when we were talking, I will let you know too. Make sure you're make sure you're muted too, Robin. I'm gonna mute you. You're not muted. Okay, Mary Beth, go ahead and unmute yourself. You're first.
All right, winner, winner.
Winner,
Good
winner.
morning, good morning, everyone. Hey, Brittany, I just wanted to first introduce myself. I've been in about 3 weeks. So
Awesome.
I'm Mary Beth Moore. I live in just outside of Phoenix, Arizona. We literally just moved from Fort Worth. So yeah, I loved it.
Cool.
So I guess the wins overall is daily awareness, more so than ever I've experienced. And the one phrase that sticks with me every day is eat like a normal person. I mean, you've said incredible things thus far, but that is the one thing that I'm just sticking with every day. Cause I guess because it's simple, it's easy to remember. And almost like I'm reprogramming myself to just eat like a normal person. Um, so I guess my question is, since day one of the 7 day challenge to today, I have not shed a tear, had an overwhelming emotion. And I hear other people, even in the challenge, that, things are really coming up and out. One thing I did this week was I called, I text my daughter. We haven't talked in almost 2 years. We have a lot of history with the family drama, a lot of hurts. Some I took responsibility for, some are not mine to take responsibility for, but she was open to a phone call. And so we talked for a little over an hour the other day, which I think, of course, was prompted through doing this program. I took full responsibility for everything that I could, that I knew was mine. She shared a little bit. She was crying. I didn't cry. Um, and normally I would, because it's my daughter. I love her. We reconnected, started to open the channel of conversation. And so I guess I'm looking to see, is that normal? Is that part of the process? Am I just so numbed out from all of life's trauma? And yeah, if you have a prescription or a thought, that would be amazing.
Well, I'm curious, why do you think, why is it so important for you to cry?
Well, I feel well, from my understanding, I guess, is that is a release. It's a release of a belief. It's a healing. It's part of the healing process from what I've understood so far. Not just with your program, but everything I've done.
So, are you saying you never cry in general?
No, I can.
Okay.
I like if we're watching a really good movie with a really good ending, or it's a sad ending, or it's a super exciting, didn't see that coming ending. Like I mean, I can cry. I mean, it's not like I can't. It's not like I haven't. I just thought that, and well, and I guess the truth is I probably haven't cried in about 5 years or so. Um, so I don't know. I can, but I
Yeah.
guess I haven't, which is why I thought, well, maybe I just numbed out because I'm the fixer, the controller, the caregiver, the everything. And like I
The
put
tears,
those,
the tears will come when they're meant to come. I
okay,
don't, I would never push that. The only way that I would test, the only way that I would measure your progress is by your eating behavior. Okay. If you're eating
okay,
less, if you're using the techniques and you're eating
mm-hmm,
less because of that, then
yep,
you're doing it right. Like I wouldn't
okay,
measure your progress based on whether or not you're crying. That's not a good
okay,
measure of success with this
okay, all
program.
right. Well, thank you. That take like a huge burden off because I'm like, I'm not feeling what everybody else is feeling,
Yeah.
but yet I am eating. We've been in Cabo for a week now. We have condo here, so we've been in Cabo a week. I haven't had one beer. We've
Whoa.
shopped to eat in more than we've eaten out. Even we've been out to eat twice. I took half the food home. Like, so that is working. Something's
Awesome.
working in that regard. So
Awesome.
that makes me feel better.
So
Thank
then
you.
I'd say you're right on track. You're doing great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Phew. Okay. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You're welcome, Mary Beth.
Thank
Thanks for
you.
being here. Let me lower your hand. Okay, Christine, go ahead and unmute yourself.
All right. Hello. Hi,
Hi.
everyone. So I guess my win, and some people know that from the Facebook, was my pizza toss that I did for the Push the Food Away, where I just kind of decided what would be the hardest thing for me to do with Push the Food Away. And it was to order my favorite pizza, and I just had a nibble of it and I tossed the whole thing in the garbage. Still steaming hot, and oh my God, I was bawling. It was like a scale of
That's
one to
so hard to
10.
do.
And it took me
Congratulations.
over an hour, like of just tapping through all of that. So
Wow.
that was a really big win. What I've been noticing, I guess, I'm noticing that I'm being, how would I say? I'm not tapping as much. I'm like some old coping, like the need to feel safe. And I think I'm kind of a little confused a bit between my old version. Like I realized this morning, it's like I've always valued health, and but my old way of doing health wasn't, it's old. It's like all the dieting, the up, the down, the exercising to in a way that I was overriding my body. I wasn't, it was just sort of more rigid and militant in my approach. And so I've actually haven't been doing exercise probably for kind of off and on, but almost a year now. And then with the weight that I put on around the trauma, it's just kind of like things aren't aligning with my value for health. Yet it feels good to not be so that old version of self, and I haven't quite figured out my new version yet. So if you had, I guess, words of advice or wisdom or anything you're picking up on that to um
Are you talking specifically about exercising? Is that the main
I
question here?
yeah, I appreciate you clarifying. I think it's the whole thing. Like I got triggered this weekend with being with my daughter, and she's lean and doing, like, I saw an old version of me, like, that need for control, all of that.
In what way you saw the old version of you? Like, how did that kick up?
Um so first she's lean, which is how I used to be. She got up to go work out and I watched her son. I see the rigidity in the food. Um,
But
I
you're observing her, or this is
yeah,
how you behaved around her?
I observed her, which is
Okay.
old. It was like seeing myself,
Okay.
and I got triggered, and then I went into my own loop of, oh, I'm fat. I'm like, I'm not doing what I used to do. And then I got into judging where I was at now, and sort of I noticed a mental spiral, like, and it's like, oh, this isn't me. This isn't like that's but I saw myself judging myself for where I'm at now.
Yeah.
Even if I don't want to be that old version. I know I'm not really
You
saying this.
know, I get what you're saying. I'm kind of tuning into it. Um, so seeing your daughter triggered you into negative self-talk. Is that
Yes.
and you're
Yes.
wondering why you're not exercising and working out and being so militant on yourself like the way you used to be?
Right. But I'm not, like, I'm moving away from that. I just haven't found um
The new system yet?
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't been tapping as much, which was helping me
Yep.
in that. Um
Well, you started this by saying you threw a whole pizza and you tapped for an hour and you cried. You threw a whole
yeah,
pizza away. Yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, that sounds like a really big exercise, and I probably like that would probably be enough tapping for me for a week if I did something like that. So
Okay.
when you're saying I'm not tapping as much as I used to,
Well,
we
the
talk every
tapping
other
on
week.
food, like I'm not stopping my eating in the evenings, or I guess
Got
that's
it.
part of
You're
it
not
too.
doing like
Like
push the food away
yeah,
regularly.
like yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. This is like a three-part
Okay,
answer.
right.
Um, okay. First of all, what all of you guys are in right now is you're going from being a caterpillar to a butterfly. And what this program is it's the cocoon. Have you guys heard this analogy before?
Yeah.
Whenever there's a metamorphosis, there is a period of time where you go from the person that you used to be to the person that you're becoming. Well, in the middle of that, there's also people that call it the messy middle. Um, you go through this period where things can things often get worse before they get better. And that's literally the intention of this program, is to bring up all of your unconscious behavior and all of your unconscious patterns and wounding so that we can heal it. Okay. So it's very normal that your emotional eating, sometimes people's emotional eating will get super out of control, or they'll actually gain a couple of pounds. And you feel like you're more out of control than you used to be, which is true because you're letting go of the control and the restriction of the dieting and the self-punishment to explore the unconscious patterns. The only way to explore the unconscious patterns is to let them come up. And I've already told you, sometimes you're just going to give in to them, right? So instead of having these militant rules where you're good and you restrict and restrict and restrict, and then, you'll do one binge and then get back on your diet, that's that is a good strategy. It's not a peaceful life though. Okay. You can keep doing that your whole life. But the reason that you guys are here, the reason you invested in this program is to stop doing that. Well, there's a period of time where that's going to feel like it's worse before it gets better. And that's on purpose. Now, when it's worse, the only thing that you can do in those moments is to apply the tapping. Okay? When it's worse, when your shit comes up, the only thing you can do is apply the tapping. Because if you force yourself back to your old ways, you're just going to get stuck in the same loop. And then you're going to come back here, a year from now and be like, "Oh, okay, I'm ready now. I'm finally ready to do this now." So, I've seen this happen over and over again for years. Um, so so do your best. And I know this is really hard, and you'll hear me say this like a broken record on almost every one of these calls. Do your best to give yourself grace during this time, because this is really hard work. It's like brain surgery. This is some of the hardest personal growth work I mean, I've been doing personal growth my entire life since I was 15 years old. This is probably one of the most challenging programs that there are available. It's also one of the most transformational programs that's available. So the person that you enter this program and the person that you become on the other side of it are two different people, radically two different people, but you got to be okay with the messy middle in the process.
Mhm.
So Christine, what I see, and if anybody else is going through this right now, what I often see, what happens most of the time is most of the time people will go through the program and their shit comes up and it's really messy and I'm not really sure they're making progress with their food. So that's why I always say check your food consumption. Go back to how much you were eating before you started and how much are you eating now, because that will tell you whether or not you're making progress. And if you're not making progress there, then you're not tapping enough. Okay, that's the way to know whether this is working or not, and whether or not you're doing the right things, or if you're tapping on the right things. If you're tapping a lot but it's not working, then you might not be tapping on the right things, and I can help you get situated on and focus on what to tap on. But often what will happen is you'll go through this period, and within 2 to 3 months, if you do push the food away and anger work and you're healing your sexual trauma with your coach, if you do all of that stuff in 2 to 3 months, your emotional eating should be 90% gone. Okay, so 2 or 3 months though is a really long time when you're in your shit. That's a long time. It doesn't sound like a lot of time, but when you're in it, it feels like a lot of time. Okay, so just also like I need to kind of pop out and like observe. Sometimes I felt it's the middle of the year and I was like, God, what have I done this year? And I went, but somebody asked the question like, what have you done since March? Just like think about, go through your calendar and list out all the things you've done since March. And I looked and I was like, oh shit, I've actually done a lot since March. So sometimes you have to go back to like, where was I when I started this program? Like just to give yourself perspective, because you've probably made a lot more progress than you're giving yourself credit for. Okay.
Mhm.
And then typically what happens is once you're applying the techniques, once you're, 2, 3, 4, 6 months in, something will settle and finally you won't be over consuming the way that you used to be over consuming. And that's when you'll actually start to feel motivated to start exercising again or to start eating healthy, or you'll see a recipe, or you want to start making green juices every morning. Like there's lots of ways. We don't offer like a system for what to do afterwards, because what I find is that everybody has like a different preference. And what I find is that you're going to be so much more attuned to who you are, and to what works for you, and attuned to your body, that whatever you feel drawn towards, that's what you should follow. Your intuition will be so much stronger once you've broken this pattern, that that you will just intuitively find the things that will work for you. And I can help you too with that when you get to that point. But yeah, Christine, don't be super worried about where you are right now. I mean, you're really just like a month in, right? You're about a month in,
Almost two, but
almost two.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like I've
Okay.
been, I doing, like I do acknowledge, like I've done some going into deeper things. Um, but I guess in the judging part is like those evening, I haven't been pushing away or like and um, and
Yeah,
that
that's an important piece of it. That's an important piece. You might need some accountability around that.
yeah,
Yeah, I forget who had the Push the Food Away WhatsApp group, but Christine, if we get a couple other people, is there anybody else that's really struggling with emotional eating and doing the Push the Food Away, that's at that part of the program, that would like to join the Push the Food Away 30-day challenge? Okay, Christine, would you like to be in charge of this?
sure.
Just all you have to do is put your number in the chat. And you got everybody add Christine in your as a contact. Download WhatsApp if you don't already have WhatsApp. Download WhatsApp and send Christine a message. And then Christine will create a group and add you to the group. Okay. Um, so what we'll do is you'll do a 30-day challenge. You guys, I did Push the Food Away for, I think it was just like 5 days. And I mean, I had been doing it pretty regularly for a couple of months, but I did it 5 days in a row, and it pretty much took all of my emotional eating away. So um is there anybody else that's done the 30-day Push the Food Away challenge that wants to share about what happened? Sydney, I see your hand up. Did you make here? Will you unmute yourself? How was your experience when you did the 30-day challenge?
It was hard and also fruitful. I think it led me to doing anger work, really.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like a solid 2.5, almost 3 weeks of really just doing it every day, sometimes twice a day. And then I was like, whoa, no, anger. Like,
Yeah.
so,
Okay,
yeah.
cool. So it got you to that deeper layer that you weren't aware of.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so that's literally what it will do. If it doesn't cure your emotional eating, it'll show you what the cause of your emotional eating is. Okay. So yeah, so the goal is to push the food away every single day for 30 days. And when you're done pushing the food away, you just want to share in the WhatsApp group either your aha moment. You want it to be a positive share. Okay, this isn't a trauma dump. This isn't this isn't like, we want people to open the app and to be motivated and inspired to do their Push the Food Away, right? So you guys as accountability partners will be sharing with each other in order to hold each other accountable, to inspire and motivate. You can also share the wins and the changes that you're noticing as you go through the days. Like you can say like, oh my God, I've done it 3 days in a row, and normally I want to eat every single night, and It's day 4 and I have no desire to eat at night. I don't know if it's going to come back tomorrow, but I feel so good right now. So this is a group for you guys to hold each other accountable and inspire each other to keep on the 30-day journey. Okay. So thank you, Christine, for being in charge of that. If you don't have WhatsApp, just download it. It's super, super easy. Christine already put her number in there. So just send Christine a message and have her add you to the group. Christine, I appreciate you creating the group. And yeah, you can set your notifications so that they're not always going on your phone. I don't like my WhatsApp notifications to come onto my phone, so I have to actually go into the app to see the notifications. Yeah, Christine, you're Canadian, right? It's 01 or
Yeah,
point
correct.
+1.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's +1, just like most of the Americans here. Okay, cool. Yay. And then come back and then tell me on the next Q&A call how it's going, and I can help position you, or I can help, refocus you if that's what you need.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Okay. Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks, Christine. I'm glad you asked that. I realized I haven't done a challenge for a while, so I'm glad we got one going. Okay, Kelly, go ahead and unmute yourself. Hi, Kelly. You look like you're in your car.
Sorry, driving to work.
No, it's okay.
Okay, so win is, and I shared this with our my 8 o'clock time. But anyways, huge win. I listened to your last live call because I wasn't able to make it for the whole thing, but I did it with both my parents, and I've noticed like I'm able to say my truth and use my voice instead of just like blatting out whatever's on my mind. And it's really helped like with my husband with being able to work through things and not be emotional. So it's been a huge win, which I didn't even realize. Like, I don't know, it's just I'm able to like talk without feeling that emotional burden or I don't know, it's very freeing. So thank you for your last call.
Awesome.
That's
Oh,
really
you're so
super
welcome. I
helpful.
forgot I did that. Remind me, were you the bad girl or the good girl?
I had both. I went
Did you
more
have
with
both?
yeah, because at different points in my life, I felt like I was both. So I double dipped and did both of them.
Awesome. I love that. I love that. Good to know that that works too.
Yes. So
Thank you for sharing that.
um, my question is, I am noticing I'm still having like the FOMO kind of thing going on where, like, for example, last weekend, my husband and I went and got a massage, and he knows, because from past, like, ice cream was my go-to, right? And now it's just like, I don't really care about it, but it's almost like I've trained him to use that as um, like a reward type of thing. And I'm having not wanting to hurt his feelings. So I don't know if it's like a boundaries thing. I don't know how to, and I guess it's not just with him, but I notice it a lot with him. Like friends, if they're like, hey, let's go get ice cream. If I don't really want it, then I'm like, it's easier to say no, but I still do have that like propensity to just go anyways and then take part. And it's still sugar. So I feel like there is that component where once I start eating it, I just keep eating it. So I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. Okay. You know what? This is like part strategy and part tapping. I had the same problem. I had a talk with my friends recently here in Austin because nobody drinks alcohol. I mean, I drink alcohol, but my friends don't drink alcohol. One of my friends is pregnant, and like when we want to go out of the house, we're like, well, what do we do? Like most people here, you just go out to eat. Like that's kind of the culture here. Which, I'm used to like living in Europe or Mexico where you can like walk and just like go look at people and do stuff, but like people don't really do that here. And so we came up with a couple strategies where we came up with a list of things that we would prefer to do instead. So we're not just like defaulting to ice cream. So for you as the friend, what I would do is I would just do research. We found a hot chocolate place. We found a tea place where it's like they've got this like really cool tea rituals. And your friends will love a recommendation to something new. Like everybody goes and gets ice cream. Ice cream is so boring. Like unless you're really craving it, it's like Okay. It's like such a normal, basic thing to do. There's so many other cool things. I don't know where you live, but there's so many other interesting things that people can do. So I always have a list of in every city that I've lived in, I have a list on my phone of all the things that I like to do because it's hard to come up with the idea in the moment, but I've categorized them into, different activities, and I'll open that and then pick whatever we're feeling. So it's part strategy and then part, have you done the ball of light with groups? It's in module 2 of the Thrive program, where you do the ball of light with multiple people. I think it's called like ball of light
Oh,
in
yeah,
groups, or how to get rid of cravings in groups.
yes,
Have you
I
done that
have.
with your husband?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that might be anybody that has a challenge with saying no to their romantic partner. Is this does anybody else have this problem where like your partner wants to eat and you're not really hungry, and but you say yes anyway? Okay, so what it is most of the time is that's your time to connect with them. And so or have a drink or eat dessert, and right, it becomes these things that you're anchored in doing. So before you have a talk with him, because this is also two parts. This is, first you have to remove your emotions from this experience, right? Because it almost feels like saying no to his love if you say no, right? Because so what's happened psychologically is that your brain has linked that food, or like the snacks, or just the act of eating food with your partner. And so that's how you're getting the love, where this is like the easiest, it takes 10 minutes to do. All you have to do is imagine any food in front of you, or if there's a food that you eat constantly, you just put it in your body and give it to your partner. Go back and forth, tap. Then that should neutralize it, because what you're telling your brain is that the good feelings and the love is coming from the person. It's not coming from the food. And so in that moment, if when he's like, "Hey, let's go get ice cream," if you say, "Oh my gosh, okay, yeah, let's go do that. Do you really want ice cream?" Or if you come up with another thing, or can we go get tea right now? Or can we go pick out a new book at a bookstore together? Right? Like, it'll be a lot easier for you to suggest something else in that moment when you do the tapping ahead of time. So it's two parts. It's you tap first and remove the emotion from it, and then you can have a conversation with him ahead of time too and be like, "Hey, I'm really trying to like eat less ice cream, and I'm just noticing that I don't enjoy that as much." Because men are very simple creatures, and often they get stuck on things, and then they just think that we like that, and then that's their go-to, because they don't really understand us. When they understand something that we like, they're like super happy, and so they keep doing it over and over again. Um, I know I had to train one of my boyfriends to stop buying me chocolate and sweets, because I was like, "Dude, I can't like eat all these sweets all the time." It's just like, no. But he just wanted to bring me something that I really liked, because I had such a nice, he brought me these it was somebody that I was dating in Barcelona, and they have the most amazing gluten-free treats there, like sweets there. And I freaked out from the first one. And so he kept doing it. We had to like flowers, like most of like 80% of the time it could be flowers. So anyway, so it's some of it's just like being a male thing, and they just want to do something that makes you happy, that makes you as excited as you know ice cream does. So, and that's the other part of it. It's like training them that experience brings you as much pleasure and excitement, and so like you might have to like amp up the joy a little bit more than maybe you would, but just like it is a little bit like training a dog in those ways, where you're like, "Yay, this is just as fun." So anyway, is that helpful?
It is. Thank you. Appreciate
Okay,
it.
you're welcome. Awesome. Okay, Jackie, and then Sydney's next. Hi,
Hi,
Jackie.
hi. I haven't actually started yet, Brett. This is my first call. It's my first week, so I've experienced a little bit of overwhelm with all, working through all of the bits and pieces, and setting up diaries and everything. But that's okay. I'm through that, or I'm dealing with that. That's okay. So, but what I have noticed is that this week when I went shopping, I put all of my Nemesis foods purposely on my shopping list, thinking, right, I'm going to work through them. I'm going to do,
Cool.
tapping on them. And then I didn't. I just demolished them. I even ate them when I didn't even want to eat them, and I
Oh.
wasn't enjoying them.
How many
And
of you have experienced something like that? Raise your hand just so Jackie can see if you're on the video. Jackie, that's so common. I would, I would, I would be, I would probably say that almost every single person that's in this program has done that. It's very, very common, especially in the beginning. There's a part of you that is, it's the part of you that's afraid to actually make progress. Ooh, I don't know where you went on my screen. There's a part of you that is really threatened by the changes that you're about to make. And so what I recommend doing is just buying 2 or 3 instead of buying all of them. Maybe just buy, or maybe just start off with one. Like make it really easy for yourself. Just start off with one. Okay. Don't set yourself up for failure. But it's really common. And if you want to do some tapping, I know that you've got a lot of experience with tapping. If you want to do some tapping on, I'm afraid this is going to work. What if this works? Who am I going to be if I don't have this problem anymore? There's a video that I have on YouTube that is it's called Breaking Up with the Food Ceremony. It's not actually in the program, but it should be. Um, you might want to do that where sometimes it can feel like you're getting rid of an old friend and like a companion that's always been there for you. So you have to figure out what's right for you, if it's fear of actually being your ideal weight, or if it's fear of giving up your friend, or, if it's something else. But those are very common reasons that you would be triggered and kind of self-sabotage in the beginning. But that usually goes away once you start to see some progress. The other part of your mind, the part that really wants you to succeed, will come online and kind of like fight harder to get you to do the tapping.
right. The other thing, I mean, I've noticed that, like the eating out of boredom, when I go into the kitchen, because it's so blooming hot here at the moment, I get a short break from the laptop, and I'll just, out of habit, go into the cupboard. And I'm like, I'm feeding the bloody dog now with carrots and stuff rather than eating my stuff, So I'm saying, "Do you want a carrot?" rather than picking stuff for me. So that's good. But my GP today, I've had a conversation with her because there's been some blood tests, and she's just today prescribed me with some statins because I have a family history of high cholesterol and heart disease. So she's putting me on a very low dose of that. Will that impact? Should I,
You know what? I am not a medical professional, so I do not take my advice on anything medical. What I have noticed from what other students have told me is that often they will, their blood work will improve as they go through the program. So Jackie, just focus on doing the tapping. Go straight to module 2. If you haven't done it already, go just get right into the ball of light and do all the cravings that you can. Try not to do anything else until you've tackled all of your cravings. That's always what I recommend when you first start. Just worry about module 2. Do all of that, do the exercise, do the ball of light, get really good at the ball of light, and tackle all, because all the foods need to be dealt with individually. And then you can start working on the eating when you're not really hungry and eating out of boredom. Those are 2 separate problems. Okay. So just take
Yeah.
them one at a time, do one thing at a time. Don't try to do it all right now.
no, that's great because that was the sort of
Okay.
direction that I wanted pushing in, which is the best one.
Yeah.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Honestly, if I were to redo this course, I would make it 5 modules. It would be cravings, emotional eating, self-sabotage, sexual trauma, and the throw the food away, and boundaries, I guess. Those are probably the 6 things that are the most important. There's really good lessons and everything else, but those are the most important parts of this program. Okay, Sydney.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello again. I guess my win is partly this call feels really reviving and good. I only caught like half of the last one, and then the one prior I wasn't able to attend. So yeah. I'm like, when can I stop tapping? with the food food techniques in particular, I mean, I love the morning routine and moving through just limiting beliefs and things like that. But I've just been so bloody consistent with the food techniques as well as the anger work. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like I went into this program emotionally eating and having cravings like 6-7 days of the week. And I'm still looking at reflecting on it. I'm still having cravings and wanting to emotionally eat 6 or 7 days. And
Really?
yeah, like I
That's not
started,
common.
yeah, because I'm trying not to force myself to be somewhere where I'm not. But I also, like you just said it today, like 2 to 3 months,
Yeah.
if you're doing certain work, 90% of the eating
Yeah,
stuff should be
that tells
gone.
me
So
that your nutrition is maybe off a little bit. How much are you eating? Like, do you track your meals, or if you're under eating, then your body will force you to eat more if you're controlling your food still, then your body will force you to keep eating more just to take care of itself.
yeah, you a couple of weeks or a few laser calls back, you had mentioned the protein intake and 3 meals a day, and that really got me on track, I think, to counting my protein intake naturally allowed me to make sure I was getting the other macronutrients and veggies and carbs.
Okay.
And pretty much 5 to 6 days a week, I'm doing that. Getting enough protein, eating 3 meals a day.
Okay.
So
Are you
that feels
eating
pretty
what kinds
good.
of foods? Walk me through like a day of eating for you.
Yeah. Like yesterday I had 3 eggs, and like arugula on like an egg sandwich, like a big old egg sandwich, arugula, a bun, and like a couple little red potatoes. And then I had like a Ezekiel wrap with some chicken that I weighed out to make sure I was getting enough protein, and some veggies inside it. And then dinner was a salad with salmon, and like a bit of quinoa. And then I wanted to have chocolate, and so I tried to let myself have chocolate, and I'm still tapping 50% of the time. Yesterday I chose not to tap. So like I ate more, I still overate, more chocolate than I wanted to. Oh, Brittany, you were frozen on my computer. Um, she gone. My food diary caused the internet to break, I guess. Well, is everyone else not hearing Brittany as well? Okay.
Yeah, we're still here with you, but apparently we lost Brittany for a bit.
Okay.
Yeah, she fell off the call.
You're now in charge, Sydney.
Oh, no. No, thank you. I'm sure she'll probably reconnect in a sec here, huh?
Sydney, could you talk about some of the things that have been working for you? Because I am brand new. I am clueless.
Sure, gosh. For me, really tapping into the anger work, that allowed me to I was having a lot of trouble a lot of resistance towards things in general, and tapping through my resistance and doing the anger work. When I really sunk into that, the techniques with the food got a lot easier. Even like, just I didn't have to think about if I was doing it right or not. And they just came a lot naturally, a lot more naturally to me. So I guess everybody's different, but I know Brittany says the anger work's really powerful for a lot of us, and encourages that. I don't know where you are when you started. Or yeah, I think you said.
Yeah, I kind of haven't started. I'm just like on the brink. So
Yeah. She'll probably say stuff that you need to hear. Maybe. I don't know if you have any particular questions to ask her, but yeah. I found it probably one of the hardest, like she said, one of the hardest, most genuine tools and transformational processes out there. So yeah, it's hard stuff. It's really hard stuff. Is Brittany back?
And while we're waiting for Brittany to come on, Robin, it sounds like you're the same as I am, just getting started. For those who have been doing this for a while, how do you decide what to tap on and when to tap? And obviously, when I've tapped, it's been really successful, but it's like, then, the next day I'm back to either emotional eating or craving or something. And, at what point, how do you decide what to tap on and how to tap and when to tap? Any comments on that?
I started. I don't know if I can.
We can hear you.
Oh, you can? Okay. I'm visually impaired, so I don't know what I'm doing here. I started on June 5th, and I still don't know what to tap on. But my whole thing, I've been going to every buddy group, and it's been really a nice way to ease in, and it's working, and I'm really pleased with what I get out of the buddy groups.
I've been
And
tapping.
then, does anybody have thoughts about how you get started with buddy groups? Because that's something new to me too.
Oh,
Sally
just
has a
go in your
schedule.
program, in the Thrive program, and it's just Google buddy groups, like or you can go into the Facebook group and search buddy group, and it'll tell you every day what the times are and the link and the password.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's Zoom meetings just like this.
Hey, you
Oh,
guys.
okay.
So
Regarding
sorry,
what
my
to
Wi-Fi
tap
just
on?
completely went down.
If
We
you're
forgive you.
having an emotion that is uncomfortable in any way, tap. Just tap. Just this. Start here. Just do this.
Okay.
You do a little, but this is like, or just do this. Tap just any emotion.
So in other words, you don't necessarily follow any protocol. You just tap through whatever's going on.
Tap.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. Fear, tap.
Rhonda, also, you can reach out to Sally if you're not sure how to get into the buddy groups, and she can give you a schedule. The schedule should be listed at the top of the Facebook page. But if you don't know where to find that, or if you can't find them in the Facebook group, then reach out to her and she can tell you when they are.
And I haven't even had my welcome call with her yet. So
Oh, okay.
just getting started.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll understand way more once you have that.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
Right.
Sydney, sorry, you were taking me through
No worries. Yeah.
your day of food. Okay.
Yeah.
So 3 eggs, egg sandwich. What about lunch?
Lunch, it was like an Ezekiel wrap with chicken that I weighed out to make sure the grams met the protein amount I wanted to hit. Some like greens and mayonnaise and like good, like I made it flavorful. Had a little bit of I think I already said this, so I can't really remember. I think it might have just been the wrap. And then dinner was a salad with some salmon and a bit of quinoa. And then chocolate. I think I said that too. Chocolate that I overate. And I chose not to tap last night. But I've like when I started the program, and really for the first 3 months, I was tapping like 80 to 90% of the time of, when an opportunity could come. And now I'm doing like at least half of the time, which you suggest. So,
Okay.
yeah, last night I chose not to tap.
When you are eating these meals, are you eating what you're truly wanting, or are you eating what you think you should eat?
Yeah. Half the time I'm doing one, half the time I'm doing the other. I'm still having hangups, because I'm moving through, cancer, and it's hard to just give myself full range of, but I have had weeks where I'm like, I'm free. I'm like I'm telling myself, my liberation from emotional eating is more important than trying to adhere to any anti-cancer diets, because I've had so much experience knowing that trying to do certain nutritional diets that I just like, the emotional eating is so bad that nothing's going to happen if I try to change the food before addressing the cravings and emotional eating and whatnot.
Okay. So half the time you're eating what you want, and then the other half the time you're eating things that you think you should eat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that the emotional eating is worse when you're eating on the days where you're eating what you should eat?
I don't think I am paying attention to that or
Okay.
taking stock. Yeah.
I'm curious about that. I'm also curious about the feelings of deprivation, that like I can't have what I want right now, and like, this fuck this cancer, and have you tapped on your like emotions around the cancer? Like just how it feels to be going through this?
Not really. A little bit. Not really.
Okay. That would be
Yeah.
something really important to address also. Um, yeah, so if you feel, yeah, I mean, I'm just curious what your emotions are around that. I would challenge you to do 3 pages around like your just feelings of having cancer and what that means, and the things you have to do or the things you can't do anymore, or just riff for as long as you can. If it's more than 3 pages, great, but do at least 3 pages on
So
all of
just kind of stream of consciousness, just kind of word vomit while I'm tapping and write
No,
3 pages.
at
Oh no.
first you want to just write it out.
Okay.
Because that will give you your internal script about this thing. I don't know if you guys
Okay.
remember Helmi, but I had her do this around her sexual trauma and all the things she was telling herself around sexual trauma, and that she worked, I think it took her about a month to get through it completely, but it
Wow.
took her sexual trauma down to a 0.
Okay.
So yeah, I would probably have you do that. Like if you're doing anger, emotional eating, there's something that we're not seeing, because that like it just never happens, especially if you're really doing anger and if you're getting really
Yeah.
deep with anger. There's
Yeah.
something else that's there. If has there been any kind of body boundary violation or sexual trauma that you haven't
No, no overt sexual trauma.
well,
No
what
rape.
overt, like even
No.
subtle things?
Yeah, subtle things with my sister, body boundary violations with my sister. She would like grab my breasts when we were younger and like kind of just use my body as like a plaything.
Oh, and have you tapped on that?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think because I'm just like, that's not, I was never raped. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. That's always where to start. That's always where
Okay.
to start. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Okay. These things will also feel like, oh, well, it's not that big of a deal, or like that's
Yeah.
one of the coping mechanisms that we use to, um, is this triggering you a little bit?
I'm okay. I feel safe though. I'm emotional, but I don't feel
Okay. Okay.
unsafe right
I'm
now.
sorry, Sydney. You're really going through this. It's like you're once you get through this, you're going to be a radically different person. But I know you've had it really tough and you've been giving it your all. And I just
Yeah.
want to acknowledge how frustrating it is to still be having the problem and doing all the things I'm telling you to do.
Yeah.
Now we're like,
Yeah.
okay, here's another fucking thing that I didn't see that I gotta go do. I would want to punch me right now if I were you. So I totally acknowledge that this is annoying as hell, but this is work that you'll never have to do again for the rest of your life. Okay. This is
Yeah.
like you're doing all the work in that would take you a lifetime to work through in therapy in 6 to 12 months, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if you need a break too, take a fucking break. Like if you need to not tap for a week, that was going to be my other suggestion is to just like give yourself a week or two off, right?
Yeah.
Like, it just,
I've done that.
oh,
Kat,
you
my
have, okay,
coach,
good.
has encouraged that, reminded me of that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. That's also the solution for like if the tapping's not working and you're doing all the things, sometimes you have to
Okay.
stop tapping in order for it
Yeah.
to catch up. So, okay, you've
Yeah.
done that. And have you worked through that stuff with your coach? Or like, I guess you said you didn't.
No, yeah. The cancer or my sister, no, I haven't.
Yeah, those will
Uh,
probably be the two next big things to tackle for you.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I will do
sorry. I
that.
know it's probably not
I
the answer that you were wanting, but
I have one other small question which
yeah.
you can um only because I've heard you mention it now a few times, but
Okay.
I've worked with psilocybin and ayahuasca, and I plan on doing that again in a few weeks. I did these plant medicine journeys prior to starting this program and tapping. And part of me is like, should I be doing a ceremony before my 6 weeks is 6 months of this program, and the tapping is I've reached that 6 month mark. And then part of me is like, no, I want as much help, and I'm showing up, and maybe I do work too hard. Sometimes I need to give myself a break, but I'm just wondering, the intersection, maybe it's too big of a question, but the plant medicines and then tapping, it sounds like they're pretty, they're good parallels. Yeah, I don't know if you have anything based on what I just said, like, do I need to slow down? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I do benders like you do. Like I'll really get like super into to something, and like right now I'm hyper focused on my love life, and I have been tapping like an insane person around all of that shit. And like I go to these workshops and like I mean everybody else is kind of like still struggling with the thing that they were last time, and I have radically changed. I'm like, "Oh, I listed out 30 limiting beliefs I have around love and relationships. Those are all gone now." Like, so I'm able to go so much deeper each time. So I do exactly what you're doing right now. And so I'm all for it. Like I think throw all the things at it. I also know that I'll give myself big long breaks from things. So, it just depends. Like you seem like you're like kind of like that where you go full in, and then at some point, yeah, I'll probably tell you like, hey, you need to take a break from this. But yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing a ceremony right now. I don't think I solved my emotional eating before I started doing plant medicine, so I don't know if it helps with that, but
Yeah.
I definitely I would say there's no way that it would hurt. I think
Yeah.
ayahuasca is very actually the first ayahuasca ceremony I did with this, it showed me how parallel my work is to ayahuasca and like the purging and all the kind of like it's very similar in how we bring stuff up, purge it out, and then reintegrate. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, no, I would definitely, I would probably go for psilocybin more than ayahuasca right now, just because of the way that the brain chemistry works for psilocybin versus ayahuasca, but do whatever speaks to you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks so much, Brittany. Thanks,
You're
everyone.
welcome. Yeah, you're welcome, Sydney. Keep in touch. Keep coming back.
Well.
Okay. Hi, Beth. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Hi, I was kind of hoping I didn't follow that. 'Cause that
You
was,
didn't what?
I was kind of hoping I didn't have to follow that because Sydney was so much that she's going through. So I
Oh,
listening to that. Um, I was
don't
just
worry. We won't compare your problems to her problems. No.
God, I'm having that whole conversation right now. Yeah, so I've been here a couple weeks now and my resistance is through the roof. And I've got that good girl, I have to do the homework, I have to be on top of it. I have to be like at the top of the class because
Oh yeah. Let's
there's
stop that.
a lot of that. And then last night I did the throw the food away and I was listening to it and I was like, well, if I throw the food away, there's nothing left in the refrigerator for dinner.
Mm.
And I'm not going out because I have something else planned afterwards. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And I did it anyway.
Great. Wow. Congratulations.
I did split the food a little bit so that there was just a little bit so that there was something to eat after I threw everything away. But I made the entire meal. I filled the plate and I threw it away. So that was my win.
Awesome. Well
But yes,
done. That's hard to do.
I know I need to, the 50% emotional eating every
Mhm.
night. And I'm not doing it. And I
That's
live
okay.
alone. It's not like there's somebody else whose life I'm disrupting to stop.
Yeah.
Just don't wanna.
Yeah, it's really hard to do in the beginning. It's really, really hard to do in the beginning. Usually what I tell people is the first like 2 to 5 push the foods away are going to be really hard. They can be. They're not always really hard, but they can be really hard. Like if you're finding that you're resisting that, those can be really hard. After the first couple, it gets a lot easier. Okay, one of the tricks that you can do that I have only come up with recently since I created the program is if you start eating, sometimes the anxiety is just so high that you can't not eat. And so what I used to say is, well, just give yourself permission to eat. That can be one of the 50% of the times that you eat. But I've changed that to now start eating and give yourself some of the food and still push the food away in that moment, because what that will do is it'll calm the anxiety and give you a little bit of that dopamine and serotonin that your body's needing right now to get through the anxiety. But then, after a couple of bites or whenever you feel like you can, just eat and start tapping while you're eating even. Okay, if you're like, you can do 2 of those things at once. So if you're really on edge about pushing the food away, just give yourself a few bites, start eating anyway. And don't feel like because you ate, you did it wrong and oh my God, you're such a failure, and don't get into all of that spiral. Just be like, okay, I needed to give myself this medicine right now. It is literally medicine for you in that moment. Okay. So be kind to yourself. Tell yourself it's okay that you started eating. And then after a few rounds of tapping and after you have some food, it'll probably be much easier for you to push the food away.
Thank you.
Okay. So start off like that and maybe even join the push the food away
I was
group.
the
You
second
did?
person in the group.
Okay, cool. Awesome. I love it. Yeah, do that. And I think it'll really motivate you when you see everybody posting every day that they're doing it. You'll have amazing wins from that.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thanks, Beth. All right, Daphne, go ahead and unmute yourself. I can take some more questions too, you guys. I'll stay on for another 20 minutes because I was offline, and I'm happy to stay till the top of to the half of the hour. Okay, Daphne, go ahead.
I have a two-part question, or
Okay.
I'm realizing a lot of things as I'm listening to everybody. My biggest question is around Coke and my realization that's my biggest craving or emotional eating. But I think I might be self-sabotaging because I started on the 22nd and I was gung-ho, sent an email. I want to get started. Here are my open times. And then I just forgot to check the email to see when, she scheduled me, missed my call. So I feel a little bit lost about what I should be doing and when. However, I've also I also didn't attend the 7-day challenge. I attended the last day, signed up just on the last day. So it's like I'm still in that I'm excited what this can do for me, but I haven't gotten into it yet.
Yeah.
However, I did do the tapping around. Actually, I don't know what I did. I don't know if I did tapping or anyway, I was going on the association of how I associated Coke, and I can't figure out if it's emotional craving because I have, it's a little bit of a rebellion, and it's a little bit of a negative, but also a little bit of a positive, with my parent. And, basically my dad, they kind of left me at home alone. I was like a latchkey kid, and my dad ate really poorly. He would, first thing in the morning going to work, he would grab a Pepsi, and he would leave out the door. So there was always Pepsi. I never liked Pepsi. I liked Coke. But they were, even though I loved them, they were very into their own thing. And
Okay, Daphne, I'm going to stop you there. I know, I'll give you the answer to that. So you're asking about two different things. The first thing is the cravings. This is answered when you start to go through the material. You'll hear the answer to this, but I'll give it to you right now just so you have it. With cravings, sometimes with certain foods, you have to do the craving exercise and the emotional eating exercise, both, because some people can have both emotions stuck in the same food.
Froze.
So that's what it sounds like to me. So
Think you're frozen.
Oh, did I freeze? Are you guys there?
We hear you. You're fine.
Oh, okay. Maybe Daphne froze.
You're frozen still for me anyway.
I'm froze. Can you hear me?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Or maybe I'll shut off my video. Okay. So what you'll do, I think actually going through the 7-day challenge might be a really good starting point for you, just because it'll give you kind of like an overview of what we do in this program.
Okay.
And it's like short bites. I think they're like between 30 and 45 minutes each day.
Okay.
I normally don't tell people to do that, but I probably would for you. And you'll have an experience. You'll have an experience with a lot of the different techniques that I use as you go through that 7-day challenge. Also, when you just message Sally and tell her that you missed your appointment, you don't only have one of them. You can just don't miss the second one, but yeah, you can connect with Sally because she'll walk you through the community. She'll walk you through the program. It'll kind of stop the overwhelm of I don't know what to do. And there's so much information, there's so much content, and I don't know where to start. It'll stop that. And she'll kind of help focus you. So definitely send her a message and tell her that you want to reschedule that call.
Yes. Yes, I did that. I did do that, but I have been eating more than
that's super common.
Yeah.
That's super, super common. So, when that happens, it's typically a sign that you're on the right track, that you're in the right place, and that this is going to work for you.
Okay. And I just saw something pop up in the chat. What is the boot camp? Is that something that's in this program?
It's in this program, but it's not time for you to do that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Sally's on vacation this week, just so you don't.
Sally is on vacation this week,
Yeah.
but she'll get back to you and she'll give you her calendar to book the next time.
Yeah, I had just given her some times I was available, but then I forgot to check to see what one she chose, so I didn't have it on my calendar. So there's a little bit of self-sabotaging, I think, going on too.
Yeah, that's normal. I mean, yeah, if you give yourself grace and just know that like this is really scary for a part of you that has the part of you that's been keeping you safe with the extra weight and with the food is very threatened by me and by this program, because this program will actually solve it'll stop that behavior. And there's some part of you, your higher self or that part of you knows that that's true. It knows that if you do this, I don't know if you've ever been like really motivated with something else that didn't actually end up working. Usually you'll be way more motivated to do things that don't actually give you the result that you're looking for. So the fact that you're unmotivated and you're sabotaging towards this, look at that as a good sign that you're on the right track and that you're in the right place and you have the right material.
Okay. Yeah.
And then, you know, if you want, what I would do is I would just say, okay, I'm going to sit down for 30 minutes for the next 7 days. And you only have to do it for, I would say, go through the first 4 days of the challenge. You don't even have to do the 7 days. Just go through the first 4 days of the challenge.
Okay. And it'll be in my email probably, or
Yeah.
replays. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You can put like Brittany Watkins replay, challenge replay, and then that should come up.
Yeah, I've gotten a lot of like learnings about my family history. I just haven't tapped through those learnings, you know, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the tapping is what makes it work. So just
Mhm.
learning the information is really powerful, but it doesn't make you won't make the changes unless you start adding the tapping to it.
Okay. And when I find something out, like I did discover some things from my childhood, do I just go through it myself? You know, I'm tapping my truth and then I'm tapping, I make it up as I go according to what I'm feeling.
Every class I teach, I train you on how to do the technique yourself.
Okay.
So you'll actually learn, and it's like, it's different than regular tapping. So if you've never tapped before, that's actually good because you don't have any, you don't have any training in how somebody else teaches it. But
Yeah.
every technique is very specific for a specific problem. So, yeah, when somebody says like, just tap on it, that's not tap on it, but use the techniques that you learn in this program. So if you just know how to do the ball of light technique, use the ball of light technique, or then you're going to learn how to do the push the food away technique. Tap on if you have emotional eating. So you'll learn as you go through the program. It's you know, it's a whole education system. Like this is not like a frou-frou rah-rah program where we're just going to hype you up and tell you what to eat. Like this is a completely different, this will psychologically change your entire map of the world.
Okay.
So you got to be ready for that, and you got to be like, you got to want that. So
I've done some inner child work, and so I'm familiar with that part, but putting it together with tapping, I think it's going to be huge.
oh yeah, I mean, just inner child work is great, but then when you add tapping, it's a whole nother level. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right. And just come back to these calls and keep checking in with Sally. You know, Sally, you've got Voxer access to Sally. So once you meet her, she'll give you access to her Voxer and you can ask her questions in the meantime. And you get calls with coaches, you get group calls with coaches, you get buddy groups. There's all sorts of options for live calls that you can jump on if you're better with accountability. We have all sorts of accountability. We probably have at least two classes, live things a week that you can attend.
Okay. I think it's my schedule that I'll have to work things around, but yeah, I still need a buddy, and yeah, I'll figure it out. I'll start going through the program and
yeah, I would give yourself like a week or two to go through the program and get a little bit more familiar with the techniques before you get a buddy, just because your buddy is gonna there's like a shared language that you guys will both need to have in order to like really support each other.
Okay. I mean, I've done a lot of other modalities, but I haven't done yours. So I'll do that.
Yeah, there's a whole new language that you'll learn here. For like different words we call different processes and stuff. So
got it.
Okay. All right. Good luck, Daphne.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, Sue.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. So I've done my 6-month coach training and I'm working through my case studies at the moment. I just wondered if you had any sessions like this for coaches, or any kind of community that I can tap into, because I feel a little bit isolated at the moment.
I know, Sue, we told you that when you joined. I haven't been selling the coach certification program because we haven't been doing coach community trainings. I am working on a new coach certification. But that won't be done until the fall. So in the fall, we'll have access to something like that, but we don't have anything like that right now.
Okay, no worries. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And I appreciate you going through it and wanting it anyway. I just, yeah, we haven't been training new coaches for a while just because the program is so old, but I appreciate you wanting to go through it anyway. The
Yeah,
content's still really
Jimmy
good. It just doesn't look that great. So we
Yeah,
wanted to
Jimmy
update all that.
didn't make that clear at the start. It's not a problem at all. But yeah, it helps to know that. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's coming, and then when that's available, we'll make sure to put you in that so that
Okay.
you had it, so that you have that.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Kathy, were you trying to raise your hand? And
I
didn't know
am.
if it was on the screen?
I'm visually impaired, so I still haven't figured out if
Okay.
I'm supposed to raise my hand visually or on the Zoom
On the
thing,
screen,
so-
but I saw it, and you got it.
Okay. I'm having 1,001 wins. I
Wow.
couldn't be happier.
Great.
I'm stuck on feeling scarcity kind of thing. Like I don't have enough coaching sessions, and I had one on the 20th, and it's like, oh, I probably shouldn't use my coaching session until the 20th of July, but it seems so far. I don't know what to do with that piece.
Okay, well, share some wins first. Tell me what your wins are.
Oh, I'm eating less. I'm not as obsessed with food. I'm feeling better. The one that is, and I shared this at a buddy group the other night. I'm also in myofascial release, and I tapped. Do you know myofascial release?
No.
It's like body work where you release restrictions in your body.
Okay.
And I been having lots of spasms. That's how my release happens. It goes through body spasms. They're very painful, but I'm okay with it because it helps me release. I tapped through that the thing where you do it in your brain, but you're not actually using your hands. And he got done, and he said he's never seen me go so deep and release so much in the 8 months that we've been working together. I went, oh my God, I was tapping. It was so exciting. It was so exciting.
Oh, wow. How awesome. That's congratulations. It's so nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it was fun. And there's nobody to share it with. So I'm really grateful I get to share it with you.
Yeah, we share it with us. And you're eating way less, you said?
Yes. Like last weekend, I looked down and I was done. So I threw it away. And then I thought, okay, well, I'm going to use smaller bowls, and I'm still eating less. Like I didn't eat the whole cup of yogurt. So yeah, I'm really thrilled.
Awesome. That's so
But
great.
that scarcity part thing, that I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah. Okay. So what do you hear yourself saying? I don't have enough sessions. I'm gonna run out. What else?
Yeah, like I only have 6. You better use them. You better space them out once a month. So I feel like I'm waiting 2 weeks before I schedule another one.
Yeah, I would say that's good. I mean, listen, I've had people that buy 24 sessions, 40 sessions, 60 sessions. You can always buy more sessions. So we're not going anywhere. Yeah, you can buy more sessions. So
okay.
Yeah. There's always ways, like if you want to stay involved in the community and if you want to continue to have the support, we're offering ways for you to do that now. So Sally has the links for all that stuff. So if you need more sessions, we'll give you access to that.
Okay.
Yeah, and also it also makes you really get the most out of your sessions too. I find that people who have less sessions, they really go all in on their sessions. They know what they want to do. They're ready to go deep. They're ready to like show up and to really get the deep stuff. Like I would say that's probably one of the reasons that you're making such great progress is that you're really showing up and you're taking advantage of that time. So yeah, I think you're doing it perfectly.
So do you think it's okay if I do it before a month? I mean, I feel like I'm at the
Yeah.
edge of the
Oh
I'm
yeah.
at the edge of the pool waiting for the lifeguard to come and say, okay, you can jump in. Like I'm
Oh,
ready.
yeah. I mean, sometimes you have to do it a couple times a month in the beginning
Okay.
to really make the changes. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, I would do more now.
Okay.
Yeah. And
Perfect.
if it makes you feel better to buy a package, to buy more so that you know you have more, then just do that now too.
Okay. Oh, thank you. That like
Yeah, you're welcome.
really, really helpful. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. All right. Sorry guys about my Wi-Fi today, but we got through it. All right, I can't wait to hear how the 30-day challenge goes. Give me updates in the Facebook group. Let me know how that's going, and then I'll be back here again next Thursday or in two weeks from now on Thursday. Okay, have a great rest of your week, everybody. Lots of love. Bye.